Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Stefan Bardega. I'm the Global Head of Performance Marketing at IDX. Today, we're going to be talking about search engine optimization in the AI era. Over the next 20 minutes, we're going to explore how AI is radically changing search, and we'll be sharing what you need to do to make sure that your site and content is optimized for discovery in this new world. At IDX, we've got a front row seat in the AI search revolution because we manage the development, security and optimization of over 800 websites, including some of the world's biggest brands like Nvidia, Vodafone and Rolls-Royce. We're seeing firsthand how AI search is changing how brands get discovered and what it takes to stay relevant and visible in this new AI era. On today's agenda, first up, we'll talk about how search is changing. What are the key changes that you need to be aware of in this new environment? Then, we'll dive into our top 5 actionable recommendations for what you need to do to stay relevant and visible. Joining me today will be 2 of our very own experts, Steve Kalipski, VP of Client Solutions at IDX, and Seth Nickerson, VP for SEO at IDX. We're also going to hear from an IDX client, Thunderbird, the global education provider, on how they're approaching optimization for the AI era. So, let's dive in. How is AI changing search and discovery? For 2 decades, digital discovery has followed a pretty familiar journey. A person has a need to find out some information, they go online to search. They're presented with a series of blue links through to websites. Those links will be ranked in order of relevance based on that query. And brands would optimize their site and the content within that site to maximize visibility in those search engines. And of course, the main search engine was Google. Google became so dominant in this journey with over 90% market share that it even became a verb. But these discovery journeys, both on the consumer and the corporate side, are now being massively disrupted. And not just by a new user platform, but by a deeper technological shift. That technological shift is being driven by the rapid adoption and integration of AI into our digital infrastructure. And that, in turn, is changing how, when, and where we discover brands and businesses. Discovery is no longer about search engines presenting lists, little blue links to click on. It's about answer engines. And these answer engines use AI and large language models to provide you with the answer to your question, rather than a list of blue links for you to go and figure it out yourself. And these answer engines are growing fast. Platforms such as ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, and Perplexity are now growing exponentially. Perplexity and Claude both have over 1 million daily active users. ChatGPT has more than 122 million daily active users. And Overviews from Google reaches over 1 billion users inserting AI-generated summaries at the top of its search results. So, what does this shift to answer engines really mean? What's really changing as we move into the AI era of discovery with these new answer engines? This table shows what's really different in the AI era. On one side, you have the world we've optimized for in the past. Traditional search engines. Users typed in keywords, got a list of blue links, and clicked through to visit websites. Our content was the destination, and performance was measured by things like click-through rate, traffic, and time on the site. Now look at the other side, the AI answer engine model. Here, users ask a question and they get an answer. No links, no pages to click, just a synthetic summary generated from multiple different sources. So, what does this shift mean for brands? Well, there are several important implications of this new world of SEO in the AI era. Number 1. First is that zero-click searches rise, traffic will drop. We expect traffic to decline on certain keywords. Not because your content is underperforming, but because content discovery and consumption is happening without a site visit. In fact, it's already happening. Over 60% of searches on AI platforms result in 0 clicks. The second thing to recognize is that your content now becomes training data. Your website is no longer just a digital front door, it's training material. AI engines treat your content as raw data to learn from, not just pages to send people to. And if it's not structured and machine readable, it may be ignored entirely. The third thing, which is related to point 2, is that your current key performance indicators are probably out of date. Things like click-through rate, page views, bounce rate, these simply won't tell you the full story anymore. You need new metrics for SEO in the AI era. How often do you appear in AI-generated answers for generic queries? Do you show up for branded queries, and if so, how? Is it reflective of your brand message? And finally, are you even part of the AI's mental model of your category? So, these are just some of the major implications of this shift. Less traffic on certain keywords, content being treated as training data, as well as a destination, and then finally, outdated KPIs and metrics. So all of this naturally raises the next question. What do I need to do to optimize my content for the answer engines to maximize my visibility in this new world? Over to Steve and Seth.
Thanks, Steph. Today we're going to take you through 5 key actions. These are practical steps you can take to help ensure your content is visible, understandable, and accurately represented in the AI era. Let's begin with a deceptively simple, yet critical question. Where does AI, or anyone for that matter, go to get a definitive, simple, machine-readable, and up-to-date picture of your company? If the answer is, it's scattered across our website, you're already behind. LLMs don't scrape like humans. They look for structured, canonical sources. And if they don't find one, they'll guess, or worse, they'll defer to Reddit, Wikipedia, or other unverified third parties. A recent audit of Fortune 500 companies revealed that only 12% had a clearly schema-marked corporate facts page. Yet platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity increasingly rely on these pages for generating brand answers. So here's what you can do now to solve for this. First, create a single centralized source of brand truth, a living web page designed for both humans and machines. Think of it as a press room for AI. It has to include the following: verified leadership bios with tenure, roles, board memberships, ESG targets, and sustainability metrics, product and service breakdowns with SKUs, pricing models, or use cases, your office or service locations with JSON LD geotags, and lastly, key financials, things like revenue, growth, EBITDA, funding rounds, etc. Second, and most importantly, structure it using schema markup, using schema.org tags like organization, person, product, and event. This makes your content AI indexable and mitigates hallucinations or misinformation. So, what's the action here? Well, number 1, audit your existing About Us and any investor pages. Centralize your core facts into a single page or subdomain. Tag it with schema. And lastly, keep it updated. As you probably know, machines crawl frequently.
Here's one of the biggest blind spots we see for even the most advanced digital marketing, communications, and IR teams. And that's your most valuable messaging is available only in a PDF document. For an e-commerce site, it could be a product brochure or user manual. For corporate communications, it's something like an ESG report. And for an IR team, it's your most recent quarterly earnings report or other financial information that's critical to the success of the organization. While these docs might be beautifully designed for people, they pose major challenges for LLMs. Here's why. LLMs don't read PDFs. They first extract and process any text, either raw text within the document or text within images that they can find. Next, they parse that data into manageable chunks that the LLM can interpret. Any boilerplate that's not useful, things like page numbers, are stripped out. The more complex your PDF document is, the more difficult it is for an LLM to retrieve it and use it in a response. For example, if your key content lives within a multi-column doc with embedded charts, it might as well not exist. So ultimately, information in heavily formatted PDFs won't surface in AI answers. So what's the fix? Believe it or not, the answer is a tried and true SEO best practice. And it's this: don't just link to your valuable PDFs. Rebuild those documents as modular, crawlable HTML content that both search engines and LLMs can easily understand. Keep in mind that offering both content formats, HTML and a PDF, are still extremely useful for people and bots, and it shouldn't require too much additional production time. So here's some key elements to include. Those H1 to H4 heading tags that offer that semantic structure that both search engines and LLM models love. bullet points with quantifiable facts, and not just telling stories. Summary boxes for key themes, so if you have long blocks of text, make sure you summarize that in a nice 2 or 3 sentence block. Schema markup, this is critical. This is things like your article, report, and product types that sort of help inform machine comprehension. So what's the best process for doing this? So the best process at a high level is you want to start with auditing your most high valuable PDFs, things like your product documents I described, as well as any ESG content or strategy documents. Then you want to recreate those files as HTML pages. HTML doesn't mean you're restricted to just text. There's lots of SEO compliant ways to include complex designs that machines can and will interpret. Next, you structure and schema to signal what's important to those AI systems. And then finally, publish and test your content. I'll talk more about that later. The thing to keep in mind is if your content isn't available to AI, your brand's not going to surface in generated answers.
Okay, so now you've structured your site. Clean facts, optimized pages, smart markup, wonderful. But here's the truth. With AI search, it's just the beginning. AI doesn't stop at your website. Today's answer engines ingest information about your company from everywhere. LinkedIn, Glassdoor, YouTube, Crunchbase, Amazon, Reddit, ESG datasets, investor blogs, even TikTok transcripts. That's your new extended brand perimeter, and that's where control can sometimes get lost. If ChatGPT or Perplexity is summarizing your company, it's pulling from dozens of fragmented data points. An old Crunchbase profile from 2019, a scraped quote from a Reddit AMA, a community-edited Wikipedia entry, a stale, out-of-date ESG rating from a third-party index even. In a 2023 Gartner survey, it found that 50% of brand reputation issues originated from third-party digital platforms, not from corporate channels. AI further amplifies this. If external sources are outdated, contradictory, or low quality, the brand narrative gets distorted before a user even visits your website. Your job is to reclaim that perimeter. Treat every public-facing data source as a strategic brand asset because that's how AI treats it. It's not social media, it's structured knowledge. You need consistency everywhere. So, where would you start? Places like LinkedIn, Wikipedia, ensuring your facts, sources, and history is correct. Crunchbase and PitchBook for funding M&A employee counts. Amazon or your retailer pages to ensure product accuracy. ESG platforms like Sustainalytics and MSCI. Community forums like Reddit, Glassdoor, and lastly, knowledge graphs and data brokers like DBpedia or Open Corporates. So what are the actions? Well, number 1, start out by listing your top 10 external brand data sources. 2, audit them for accuracy, consistency, and recency. And lastly, update them as rigorously as you update your homepage.
You've structured your website, refactored your PDFs, and you've audited your external brand footprint. You've done all the work. But are you even showing up in AI-generated answers? It's time to find out. In a study of 75,000 brands by Ahrefs, 26% had 0 mentions in Google's AI overviews. That means over a quarter of brands were simply invisible in Google's AI-generated summaries. Here at IDX, we used structured prompt testing to track mention frequency across different models, the context of those answers when they come up in AI models, the citation patterns, whether your content is the source or someone else's comments about your brand are being cited, and finally, we track trends over time, including any newly gained answers or answers maybe you've lost visibility for. So how can you do this? First thing is to define your most strategic brand prompts. It's those things that people might ask AI about you. Number 2, you run those queries regularly across multiple LLMs. A few LLMs that we use here are ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude. And you want to monitor for 3 things. Number 1, does your brand appear in answers? Number 2, is your brand or your brand content across your ecosystem cited? Number 3, most importantly, is the story accurate? If you're absent or misrepresented, you can work backwards, doing things like updating your sources, reformatting the content, and restructuring the data the LLMs are using for those answers.
Everything we've covered today, structured content, cleaned up PDFs, third-party audits, and prompt testing all point to one thing. This isn't a one-off project. It's not a marketing campaign, it's a capability that needs to be built and maintained within your organization. To show up in AI systems accurately and consistently, AI visibility needs to be top of mind across much of what your teams do. That means rethinking how your teams write, structure, and publish information. Not just your marketing and SEO teams, but every area of your business, from talent teams to PR and beyond. Anyone publishing content in your business needs to be given the training and tools to develop expertise necessary to optimize that content for visibility. It's a mindset shift to get teams across your organization to 1. Write in clear, structured formats, including headings, bullets, and concise facts. 2. Apply schema markup where relevant. 3. Link facts to trusted sources. And 4. Format for machine comprehension, not just brand tone. Because today you're not just publishing content, you're training the AI model. Every unstructured press release, every buried PDF, every inconsistent bio contributes to how LLMs understand your business. And if they misunderstand you, your audiences will too. So what are the actions here? Well, number 1, roll out a simple AI content playbook across your teams. 2, run internal workshops on writing for AI visibility. 3, use tools to check if content is machine readable before publishing. And lastly, treat this like brand hygiene, continuous. It's not glamorous, but it is essential. So there we have it, our 5 recommendations. Now let's make it real with some insight from IDX client ASU Thunderbird School of Global Management on how they're approaching SEO in the AI era.
Let me share a real challenge that many organizations don't even realize they're facing. In my role leading marketing and brand strategy at Thunderbird School of Global Management at ASU, our team discovered a critical blind spot. Key elements of our brand positioning weren't being represented accurately in AI-generated summaries. Despite Thunderbird's nearly 80 years of history, AI tools like ChatGPT and Google AI Overview were surfacing inconsistent information about who we are and what we offer. Before the age of AI, our brand was well positioned in search, but AI changed the game. We started noticing a huge reduction in website traffic. Zero-click searches and AI overviews now surface answers before users even visit your site. That means visibility is more competitive than ever. Generic content is being filtered out, and trusted, well-structured, expert-driven content is what wins. Today's savvy prospective student experiences an entirely different way of consuming and interpreting information. So we got to work. We started by re-engineering our technical foundation, refining semantic HTML, implementing structured data through schema markup, and streamlining our JavaScript to ensure that AI could read and interpret our site more accurately. We conducted a full-scale content audit, and then we filled the gaps by refreshing existing content, creating targeted new pages, and aligning messages across every touch point from website to social to third-party platforms. We didn't stop there. We established an ongoing monitoring framework to track how AI tools represent us and to ensure we could quickly respond as algorithms evolve. AI is fundamentally reshaping SEO. We're moving from a keyword-first strategy to one centered on intent, relevance, and authority. And that's where entity SEO and structured data come in, by helping AI understand not just what you say, but who you are and why it matters. And this isn't something we did alone. For over 5 years, our partners at IDX have been instrumental in helping us future-proof our content strategy. And now, for the AI era, with their expertise, we will discover that we can and we should structure our information more intelligently, elevate our authority signals, and ensure that our story isn't just published, but understood by both humans and machines. And as a result, we saw stronger alignment, better visibility, and most importantly, a brand that is finally being recognized for what it truly is. And it was not about SEO, it was about being understood.
So we've covered a lot today, but the message is really clear. AI is fundamentally changing how people discover and consume information online. This isn't just search evolving, it's the entire landscape being redrawn. And to win, we need to optimize not just for the search engine rankings, but also for visibility in the answer engines. Those who adapt early will shape their brand and their corporate narrative. Everyone else will be paraphrased, compressed, or skipped altogether. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. We'll be sending out AI Answer Engine Playbook after this session, so keep an eye out for that in your inbox. And if you have any questions or want help getting started, please speak to our team at IDX.